Hello everyone, I'm Anthony, the Eclectic Chef. Welcome back to my kitchen again. Today we got a couple of baking projects. The first is a Pastitsio, a Greek pasta dish. I'm using lamb and I'm going to use up that leftover sauce from the lamb neck that we cooked a couple of days ago. Said I'd find a use for it. And we'll discuss the taste of it later. I did have a little of the lamb mixture with some sauce over a little bit of the pasta last night. It's very lamby and absolutely delicious. So I hope you'll enjoy how we're assembling this dish. So here is our whole wheat elbow macaroni, cooked and set in the pan. We mixed it with a little a good splash of olive oil, actually, some freshly ground black pepper. We're going to cover this up to keep it moist till we got our lamb and sauce ready to go on top. Then we'll work on the cheeses and the bechamel sauce. There's probably 6 of the 8 portions in that box of Barilla pasta, and I have a tub of the rest saved, which we'll probably use for tuna salads and stuff like that. Waste not, want not. This is the pasta we used in our Pastitsio. If I'm going to be cooking pasta these days, by choice, it's most typically going to be whole grain, unless I'm looking for a very classic look. I'd had one of these boxes of elbows, whole grain elbows, on the shelf because I'm getting set to do a top shelf mac and cheese recipe, which you'll see in the next week to 10 days likely, and that's what I was going to use it for. But was looking for tube pasta for this dish, didn't have enough penne, so I used this. I would use penne. The advantage of these is they cook quick, 6 minutes, so they are Barilla's a good brand. No sponsorship, by the way, it's just what I use. So to help increase the volume of our Greek pasta dish, we're going to add some vegetables to our ground lamb. We've got some onion, celery, carrot, a little bit extra garlic and rosemary, to which we're going to add the lamb, brown it, and then add the sauce that we've reserved, minus the fat, from our braised neck of lamb yesterday. That sauce will have lots of lamby flavour, bone brewed down in it, lots of body. Should give this a delightful flavour and body for our pastitsio. Okay, so we've added our ground lamb. That was 1.33 pounds of ground lamb. We're going to soften this up just a little bit more, then add our reserved sauce from the neck of lamb last night. Yesterday's sauce added to the meat and vegetable mix, and we're going to simmer this for a little while, let it soak up all the flavours. Then we'll keep it overnight and cook our dish in the morning. See you then. Here's all our cooked cold pasta with some pecorino romano and some parmesan cheese grated into it, and I've broken an egg in there. We're going to mix this all up together and then divide the portion into 2. So here's the half of our pasta, which has had the egg and cheese mixture mixed in. I also took 1 good serving spoonful of the meat mixture, mixed that in, and I've grated some fresh nutmeg and sprinkled a very little, and I mean a little, I'm zooming in case you may be able to see it, ground cloves, and little dark specks on the top, perhaps you can see. We're going to top this with the rest of the meat mixture, and then put another layer of pasta, a little more sprinkling of nutmeg and cloves, and then we'll go ahead and get the bechamel on top, which is where we're going to pile in the extra cheeses. This will be a 4-cheese bake. It'll be a little bit different with the lamb, so I'll show you this at each step of the way. Here we have the meat sauce spread out, and it's kind of important to make sure that we get right out to all the edges. Next we're going to put another layer of pasta on top, the final layer. So here we are with the final layer of pasta with the cheese and egg in it on top of the meat sauce, with another very slight sprinkling of ground cloves. I can't overemphasize, I'd far rather you didn't put enough, because cloves are very pungent and powerful, and you don't want a clove flavored pastitsio. Now, also a little nutmeg. I will say it really does help if you don't drop the nutmeg while you're trying to run it across the top of the plain grater. I also sprinkled a generous helping of freshly ground black pepper here. Some recipes will say you should put like the nutmeg, etc., into the bechamel. I don't want to do that because I'm going to have 3 cheeses in the bechamel, and I really don't want like little black dots in it when we've cooked it. So I've decided to sprinkle mine over the top of the pasta in this dish. So we'll come back in a little while when we're ready to put the bechamel on top and pop it into the oven. For those who are not familiar with bechamel, it's a butter and flour roux with milk. I'll put the proportions. You warm gently, then we're going to add some grated cheese to it and a beaten egg. We have to be careful adding the egg because we don't want it to separate out. So we'll see you back here in a little while. So here we are starting our roux. This is 80 grams of Kerrygold butter being gently melted on the stove, and we will be adding 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour to this to make a roux. We'll not brown it excessively, but we will cook the flour so it doesn't taste raw. Then we'll be adding 3/4 of a cup of milk, cheese and a beaten egg. Well, sorry about that, folks. I couldn't stop once I got started on the bechamel. So we whisked our milk, cooked it for about 2 minutes, added our cheese, which brought the temperature down. Then we were able to add, really stir vigorously, 1 beaten egg. We're now going to, this cheese topping has 3 cheeses: Pecorino Romano, Dorset Coast English Cheddar from Trader Joe's, which is a nice sharp cheese, and Parmesan Reggiano. So we're now going to top this, not very Greek, but a little bit of mozzarella, which will brown up. Just add a little bit more cheese. Everybody loves cheese. Then we're going to pop this into the Anova at 350, no steam, for about 45 minutes. The oven's nice and hot from having cooked our bread, so we'll be off to the races. And here's the Pastitsio in the Anova. Just turned it round. Top looks to be browning nicely. It's got about another 25 minutes to go. And here's our Pastitsio as it came out of the Anova oven after 45 minutes. I meant to cook this for 45 minutes at 350. I started knocking the temps down towards the end, 325, then 300. This really has come out to a beautiful golden brown colour, where the mozzarella has melted and browned on top of the bechamel, which is exactly what I had in mind. We'll really let this cool down before we portion any out. That way it'll be a little bit easier to cut a portion. I'm thinking, without being greedy, that there's got to be 8 servings in this. And as just about everything in here was something we had, including the reuse of the neck of lamb braising sauce, I'm quite happy this is quite a frugal meal for 8 servings. Okay, so having portioned out half the tray, you can see the layers of pasta, meat, pasta and bechamel sauce perfectly well here. It's turned out really, really well. The mozzarella's browned perfectly to a crust on top. And I'll show you what this looks like plated for tonight for my dinner. Have this with a bit of salad. It looks absolutely great. I've tasted a few pieces, by the way, cold, and it's good. So here's the bowl that's actually plated up for my dinner tonight. I will put a note on afterwards to let you know what I think of the taste, but so far I am very happy with the way this has turned out. Okay, so sticking with a photograph of my dinner dish, let's talk about how this tasted. 4 cheese Pastitsio. We have Pecorino Romano, Parmigiano Reggiano, and the Dorset Coast English cheddar from Trader Joe's grated up and mixed in both with the pasta and the bechamel. Topping the bechamel, we had some mozzarella. So 4 cheese Pastitsio. But the star of the game here isn't so much the cheese as it is the lamb. The combination of the ground lamb and the braising liquid from a neck of lamb the day or a couple of days before that I took all the fat out of has made this a very, very rich and lamby tasting meal. I love lamb, by the way, so to me, I'm in hog heaven eating this. If you're not keen on lamb, you may feel differently, but you could do this with beef, but I wouldn't recommend it necessarily. It has a very big signature with the lamb flavour, and I think it goes very well with the spices and the herbs that we used to reflect Greek character. In any event, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. We're trying to scratch up our subscriber count, and I'd really appreciate it, and it would help. And with that, thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed this, and let's all have a great day in our kitchens.